Alrighty, so it looks like we got some people in the chat. Remember, we got a great guest on tonight, so please do me a favor and get your questions ready. And we're going to start the show.
Guys, this podcast is...
Nope, not wrong one. All right, what is crack-a-lackin', everybody? Thank you for joining the Shooting in the Woods podcast. This is episode 228 here on Shooting Gallery. My name is Joe, and we want to welcome everybody. I see Safety Harbor Firearms is out in the chat. What is going on, Walter? Hope everything is all good. So we got a great show tonight, but before we get into the show, first off, I want to ask everybody to like this video or like this stream and share it with your friends. That's how we are able to kind of keep this going. We're getting a lot of great traction here on Rumble, and a lot of you guys are still liking the show over on YouTube when we post it over there, and the shows are actually getting monetized. But if you're still watching us on YouTube as well, we're not streaming live to YouTube, but if you're following the YouTube channel, please do me a favor and smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and like all the videos, all the shorts, you name it. My man, Safety Harbor Firearms, just had a short that went over 120,000 views. I'm super excited for him. Go check out Safety Harbor Firearms. But yeah, please do me a favor and do that, as well as if you want to help support the channel, there's many ways you can do that. One way is to become a channel member. It's like $2.99 a month. You get early access content. I think you still have last week's Shooting in the Woods podcast episode live on the member section of the videos that we have up there. So please consider becoming a channel member. But also, let's thank the people that make this show possible.
Guys, this podcast is sponsored by the amazing people over at Aegis Gun Care. Aegis Gun Care, I've been saying it for years, is the leader in firearms cleaning, lubrication, and solutions. It's a two-part system. You guys have been hearing it forever. I love Aegis Gun Care. This is the cleaner. It gets all your carbon off your firearms. It doesn't have a smell, and it's non-toxic. Then you follow it up with their special lubricant. We call it Joe Juice here on the Shooting in the Woods podcast. This stuff is amazing. It prevents rust. It lubricates your firearms. It does a ton of amazing qualities, you guys. I cannot stress enough how much I love Aegis Gun Care. They also have cleaning kits available. This is their field kit. You get everything from 22 up till 45. You can get patches, you can get hats, merchandise, and even some pretty cool cleaning mats. If you do me a favor and go over to Aegis Gun Care and use code JOEJUICE, you will save 10% off your entire order. And we thank Aegis Gun Care so much for sponsoring today's podcast.
Guys, please do me a favor and go over to Aegis Gun Care and grab some cleaning equipment. They also just got this new American flag t-shirt I ended up picking up. I saw my man Rod actually was wearing one, and I'm like, I got to get one. So went over and picked one up. He didn't send it to me. I actually paid my own money for it. But they got merch. They got you name it, they got it. I have literally my kit right here because I got to clean a Wasser M that's on loan from Safety Harbor Firearms, which I'll probably end up doing this weekend before he heads over the pond. See some friends over there. I got to get back to them. So Walter, if you're out there listening, I have not forgot about that. You'll have that before you leave. But let's thank, first of all, the guests tonight for sponsoring the show.
Guys, this podcast is sponsored by Liberty Bell Firearms. Liberty Bell Firearms is the Cerakote of choice here on the channel. They did the Kit Kat build, paint on the frame. This is the SCT frame. Everything we built over from Brownell's Parts. I said, man, I want this to look like a Kit Kat wrapper. He did it. This is awesome. The video is not doing it justice. He not only did the logo, but he did the pins, controls, all different colors, extremely custom. And he also offers laser stippling on things like AR-15 grips, laser engraving as well for metal parts, say your slide, frame, 1911 grip panels. Guys, if you want to get some really cool designs done or get some stuff Cerakoted, please check out Liberty Bell Firearms. They're offering the listeners of this podcast 20% off by using code JOJUICE. We thank Liberty Bell Firearms for sponsoring today's podcast.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I had a phone call coming in. Think I blocked it. Just answering this quick test. Guys, check out Liberty Bell Firearms. They're going to be on the show tonight, obviously, but look at that Kit Kat build. We're on Rumble, so we can show guns. Hold on 1 second. Send a quick text. It's a very important text I have to send. All right, so there you go. Sorry about that, guys. I had a very important text I had to send. Look how good look how good the Kit Kat build came out. Amazing Cerakote work. Use code JOJUICE, 20% off your entire order with Cerakote and stippling services. But let's bring on the man himself. I think we met once at IV88 one time that when he was there with his man Opie and the Smokies. I hope he's actually on the chat if you're out there. What's up, Opie? I see Jen Cham Jr. out there as well. What's going on, brother? But let's bring on the man of the hour. His name is Jay, and he owns Liberty Bell Firearms. What's up, dude?
Hey, Joe. What's going on, man? How we doing?
I'm doing good. It's hot down here in South Florida, so I'm kind of, still acclimating to the heat after a year later.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably not a heat you get used to very easily, though.
It happened faster than I expected, but still when it comes, you're like, whoa, holy hell. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to have you on. I figured, hey, you sponsor the show, let's have you on so we can kind of show some of the stuff that you're able to you're able to do with your Cerakote, your stippling. But let's first ask, how did you actually kind of get into like working on guns?
Well, it's kind of funny how that happened because I lived in Indiana for a while. I moved out to New Jersey, was working out there for a couple of years. Gross. So I was like kind of into guns, but not really. Like I would shoot occasionally. I had a couple of handguns.
In New Jersey?
Everything I had was illegal. So whenever I moved to New Jersey, I had to sell everything I had. So I moved back and I was like, all right, I want to get back into guns. I want to start buying stuff. I was getting ready to deploy. So I bought like my first AR, and it was a Core 15, like a Magpul edition. So it was Cerakoted OD green. It had like an OD green, like real basic Magpul handguard. And I was like, well, I want to swap this out. I want to change this. I want to change that. And then I started like buying parts for it and changing stuff. And I was like, I really like doing this. This is a ton of fun. I enjoy it. So I'm going to build my own AR. So then I started looking into parts and I started going down that rabbit hole. And then eventually it was like, I feel like I could like do a business, like start a business doing this type of stuff. And then, I think it was like the very next day I saw an ad for a Sonoran Desert Institute.
Get out of here.
You want to get into the gun industry? Like you can go here. So I looked into it. I used my GI Bill money and did their online class.
You broke up a little bit there, brother. Okay. Hey, Jay, you're breaking up a little bit, my man. You're still kind of robotic here. Yeah. Hey, Jay, do me a favor. Exit out and then enter back into the stream because I think your internet is a little bit funky.
Hey, there we go. Sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, you were going all robotic. So, okay, so you did. So, what I got before you went all robotic, you went to SDI. Now, did you do the associates program? Do you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So, all right. So before you got all robotic, you said you decided to go to Sonoran Desert Institute. I'm also a
Yep.
graduate of SDI. Did you do the associates or just the certificate program?
I did the associates program because that's the only thing the GI Bill would pay for. So I got my schooling completely paid for and finished the program in like 14 months. And I mean,
You lucky SOB getting that GI Bill to foot the bill.
I had to pay like grand total. I think I paid like $1,200 total for the entire program.
That's really not that bad. I don't owe that much either. Like I think I owe like maybe $8,000, something. Not really that
Yeah,
bad.
it was great. I mean, and they paid me while I was attending school, and I mean, there's pros and cons to doing that stuff online. You know, like it's not as good of learning in the shop and doing those types of things, but it wasn't a terrible program either. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it, and I learned a good chunk too. So
yeah, I learned so much. I will say, me being a graduate there, the prereq courses were like pretty rough. Like I was just
yeah,
like, oh my god, these are so dumb, and the amount of essays we had to write. I get that's college, but at the same time, it's like I could have done without having to take like English again when I haven't taken English since I graduated high school. But
yep,
that was my only gripe was it's just it's like I get it. Like yeah, you could probably get other courses to fill those credits to make a legit associates
yep.
and not have the prereqs.
I agree. Well, and there was a guy at work that was like, I had a couple of options for one of the credits, and the one guy at work was like, "You should do the environmental science. Like, that'll probably be right up your alley. You'll probably really enjoy it." Me not knowing anything, I was like, "Yeah, sure, fine." I hated that was the course I hated the most. Like, I absolutely hated that class.
I always liked environmental science, so I didn't mind that. The one class I hated the most was the halfway through the reloading in ballistics course when it was just all swaging your own bullets. And I'm like, I've never had to swage my own projectiles.
Yep,
I
and I
probably
never
never
will.
I never will. I didn't care at all. And I was like, this, like, it was just like way too mumuch information. I'm like, I don't care. Oh my God,
Yep.
let's get through this. Everything else I really enjoyed. I had I went to community college for a little bit, like right out of high school. So I had credits like a transfer over. So I got to doing like math, which I was super happy about.
Yeah,
But that's
I mean,
cool.
I was kind of the same way. Like there, like the cleaning firearms lab. It's like I've been around guns enough. I know how to clean a gun. I
Yep.
know,
Oh yeah.
Like you did it because you had to do it for the credit, but it was one of those. I already know how to clean a gun. I don't need to take a 4-week class on how to clean a gun and how a clean gun functions better than a dirty gun. Like I got it.
Yeah, they need to kind of like make that just like there we go, cool. But since we went there, we were able to actually like, kind of give constructive criticism. Um,
Yep.
but the funny thing is, I've met some of the guys from SDI. They want nothing to do with me. They don't even like. I'm like, yeah, I'm a graduate. I took my associates to you guys. They're like, oh, cool. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Oh, okay. So fuck you guys.
Yeah. I had they asked me a couple of years ago. They wanted me to do some writing and stuff like that for them, like a couple articles a month. And it was one of those, like, I would have loved to have done it, but it was a time of my life where I just didn't have an extra few hours a week to spare to do that kind of stuff. So it was like, yeah, sorry, I'll have to pass right now. I got too much else going on. So
Yeah, they will not. Well, there is a reason. I'll tell you offline, but I know there's a reason why they will not talk to me. And I don't care. But yeah, so that's cool. So you graduated 14 months. I also did the same. I got 2-year degree in 14 months. So you graduate from there. You just started opening up. You apply for your FFL, at home FFL, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna start
yeah.
Cerakoting and doing that stuff.
So I started at SDI February of 2017, and I got my business license in April of 2017. We were officially founded as a company. Got my FFL in August of 2017. And then we were kind of like, I didn't do a whole lot, those first like few months was just kind of establishing relationships with companies and becoming a dealer for different companies and kind of doing some of those things. And then I had to deploy early 2018. So we were completely shut down for about a 5-month time period, but it kind of worked out because I just opened. So it wasn't like I was, super busy or anything like that. But, and then I got back, it was about summertime 2018. And one of the big things that I wanted to do was I wanted to do Cerakote, and I'd been thinking about it for a while, but buying an oven and buying all the stuff to do it was a little bit, it's financially, it's a little bit of a barrier.
Yeah, it's a pretty big investment when you do it right, and not just the oven and the air compressor, the paint, the Cerakote itself, the air guns, all that stuff. And then I'm guessing if you're doing metal, you probably sandblast stuff too, right? Yep. Okay.
So, but I mean, I had a mentor early on that the thing that he always said to me. He goes, Jay, it's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness, and like that stuck with me. So like I got a small sandblaster and I got a small oven and I built my own paint booth and like I did like a low scale stuff. The only thing that I really spent the big money on was the actual paint gun itself. Like if you're Cerakoting and you're not using the Iwata, like you were just asking for problems. Like that spray gun is hands down the best one. Like whenever I switched to it, because I bought like a cheap one just to practice and try it out, and it was like, yeah, okay, like this is okay. I spent the $350 on the Iwata, and it was like, oh my gosh, like what have I been doing the last 2 months? This is a day difference. So that was how I started. Like I started small and then scaled up from there. Last year, 2023, I made big changes. It was one of those, like 2023 was the big year. Well, I guess I'll jump back. I'll jump back to where I was. So I just, started Cerakoting and started doing different things in like early 2019. I think I spent the last couple months of 2018 just kind of doing my own stuff and practicing and getting better at it. And, I didn't want to offer a service that I wasn't good at doing,
Well, so I will say for like, just off of this, like I gave you very little to go off of. And this is literally one of my favorite guns I've ever had. Like the video doesn't do it justice. Like the detail in the red and the lettering is just perfect. Like it's amazing. So again, this is a testament to your skill set on, again, not a lot of stuff to go off of.
I'm just waiting for them to come after me for a copyright infringement or something.
It's not Disney. It's not like if you're doing like Disney branded stuff. I'm waiting too. I think I'm just gonna start like tagging like Nabisco or whoever runs Kit Kat.
But I mean that was kind of part of it too. Was I wanted to do, when I started getting into doing like patterns and multicam and doing that kind of stuff, is getting into the stenciling and how to do all that. That was probably the hardest thing to learn. But I spent the money on doing my own stencils because people are selling stencils and you can buy them, sure. But I mean, after 4 or 5 times of buying it, you could have paid for your own machine and paid for.
I was going to say, when you do your stencils, do you have like one of those Cricuts that you just kind of?
Yeah, so it's a different. I mean, it's the same thing. It's not a Cricut brand, but it's the same concept, and it's a special vinyl that can handle the heat of going in the oven and that kind of stuff. So, that stuff is a little bit expensive, but it's also not. It's not like it's $1,000 for a roll of it or anything like that.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. You're able to now, like for something like that, you're able to get like the multicams. I know you're not the biggest fan of doing Cryptek
Cryptek is like the worst thing to do.
When you told me that, I was just like, oh, so KSG and like blue Cryptek is just out. Okay, cool.
I've done Cryptek a lot, and I actually did one. There was a gun store that's about an hour from me, and I like to cut gun stores in if they if it's going to be a place that like is going to be a repeat customer, they're going to bring me business. Well, I give the gun store a discount and let them charge their customer full price, so that way they can make a little bit of money. For
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I work that out with any gun store that wants to work with me. I will gladly do that. And so, of course, the first gun he brings me is a SIG, and the guy wants it in a black, gray, and zombie green Cryptek. And I was just like, oh.
You're like, I don't want to do this. But my backlog is just so bad. Like, it's just, you don't even want to know.
Well, what it is, it's because if you want to lay Cryptek right, you have to lay it on the gun all in one shot. You can't do an individual piece, because then your spacing isn't going to be the same between the pieces. It's not going to look as good. You can do it and it's easier, but it doesn't look good. So it takes, oh my gosh, like to do the SIG, like to do the slide, I wrapped the whole slide all in one shot. So it took me probably 30 minutes to wrap it. And then you're pulling off individual stencils after everything is done. So you're talking about a good 45 minutes at the tail end of everything, just pulling all the stencils off. So yeah, it's just a lot of work.
I never knew that. I thought you did the same thing, like because I'm thinking like, you know, with hydro dipping or like, you know, any type of like basic stencil work. From my minimal knowledge of it, is you do a base coat, stencil what you need to, do the outline of the stencil so you only get what the stencil is, spray it, pull it off, and that's how you get the pattern. But with Cryptek, I didn't know you had to wrap everything just the way like that.
Yeah, because if you do like one individual piece at a time, your spacing is going to be off between your pieces. And so like you kind of do the like a transfer tape, and then you just tape the whole thing on there all in one shot.
Oh, that does not sound fun at all.
So if you're doing like, if you're doing like something like an AR receiver set, so you got a decent chunk of material to lay down on, and it's not even, of course, so that adds to it as well. And
yeah,
so I will gladly do it. I will gladly do it if a customer's like, I want Cryptek. I will do it. I'm just going to complain the whole time.
Remember, guys, if you want Jay to do Cryptek on your gun, you can save some money by using code JOJUICE for 20% off your Cerakote work. Okay, just know that.
Absolutely.
Just know that he'll do it gladly. He'll curse up and down, but you're saving 20% on the back end. So just think of it like that. I really want to address some comments here. Just make sure people know that I'm still listening now. All right, so we got Jen Champ out there. We got my brother DLD After Dark in the chat. What is up, my dude? Now, if I can just figure out, why am I? What? Don't tell me I can't. Can I not show? Oh, damn! I don't think I can go up on the chat, but I see Safety Harbor Firearms out there. What's going on? He says, baby poop, no stencil needed. I know, Walter. I know. We're going to talk about that tonight, and I still need to fill out the paperwork and ship that cut out. Okay. Okay. No one likes Cryptek, LOL. Oh, never mind. Joe does. No, I do not like Cryptek. I was a joke because I know how much Jay hates doing it. It was cool for like the KSGs and like that SIG 220 Elite Combat. Carnage Combatant out there, which is my buddy Tommy. Guys, go check out Carnage Combatant on Instagram. He's been trying to get into the world of Instagram guns and doing a little bit of content here and there. I keep pushing him to make a YouTube channel, but go over to Instagram and subscribe, follow Carnage Combatant. But he says, I might be sending you my Steyr AUG for white tape Cerakote, think it over. Well, Tommy, you know the thing is to use code JOJUICE for 20% off. And same thing with your stippling as well, we're trying to get into.
Yep, we'll get into that some too.
Oh, so yeah. What I'm guessing, I want to know first off, no one's ever asked you to put a high point in baby poop Rhodesian camo. Is that? I'm guessing that's never been asked.
No, we can do it though.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna look awesome. Like I already got the okay from my man Dave at High Point. He's just like, I was like, hey, is this gonna be like okay? And he's like, it's not gonna hurt it. So I think I'm waiting for the email. You actually did Rhodesian baby poop on a high point. I'm gonna be like, yeah.
I've done a couple of like traditional Rhodesians, and then I also on Opie's 308 AR-10, I did a Rhodesian, but it's Opie colors, so black, couple grays, and orange.
Oh God, I love that, man. Shout out to Opie and the Smokies out there.
And that gun, I mean, and that gun's been it's been a great performing gun. He's had it about I think it was last year. So they come up from Tennessee every year. They come up here for a weekend, and we go out. I've got a spot about a half hour away. We go 1,000-yard shooting. Except for this year when it was all underwater from all the rain that we had.
Yeah, so I saw some videos you've been posting on IG, especially when testing out the Gideon Optics Guardian, and I'm seeing all that water out there. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, it was. We couldn't get past like 425 was as far as we can go because it was just all flooded out past that point. So
that's nuts. That is absolutely nuts.
I mean, it is what it is. But it was a 16-inch 308. I did a run of 25 AR-10s at the end of 2021.
Yeah, so you actually are are you an 07?
Yep, I'm an 07 licensed manufacturer. So I do all of the AR-15s in house, and I did that one run of AR-10s. I will never do another run of AR-10s. And then I did a very small batch of AR-9 lowers. When was that? That was towards the end of last year, October, I think, October-November timeframe. So
nice. So just like quick rundown of like some of the like ARs you were making, like what, like were they just like mil spec triggers?
So on the AR-15 platform right now, I've got 2 different models. And within those models, you can get 2 different barrel lengths. So kind of my flagship rifle. So I launched the rifle series in 2020, and it was like, you know how 2020 was with gun sales.
Oh, yeah.
It was like I launched March 1st, 2020, and could not keep a rifle in stock the entire year.
Oh, wow.
Like
that's awesome.
I had anywhere from a 10 to 20 rifle backlog at any given moment for almost the entire year. And then things kind of slowed down a little bit after that. But so now what I've got is their flagship rifles, the Freedom Rifle. You can get it in a 14.5 pin and welded, or you can get a 16-inch barrel as well. Running 13-inch handguards. And I just did the last rifle with one of our in-house design handguards. Because I don't want to do another run of those because I'm kind of going to be getting out of the rifle game here probably early 2025.
Really? Okay.
Maybe the end of this year, early 2025, I'm going to start transitioning away from rifles and then focusing just on the Cerakote and the laser engraving and just the general sales as well. But
so you're doing like transfers and stuff like that too, correct?
Yeah, I still do transfers for people that are local. I've got a lot of like local customers that, you know, they like to get their Palmetto transfers through me, or, you know, AIM surplus, or, you know, when they're getting that kind of stuff. So I've actually got.
Yeah. We're on Rumble, so you can show guns on Rumble.
I've got. This has been like the demo 14.5 for about the last like 2 years or so. So 13-inch rail, M-lock all the way around, reared in R2C, pinned and welded. So you're still, you know, legal rifle, best suppressor mount on the market, hands down. Forged receivers, LaRue MBT 2-stage triggers.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Magpul K2 Plus grip, my absolute favorite grip. B5 Bravo stocks, and then,
I like the B5 grip particularly. It's all to preference. I like the B5 grip. I like the MOE Plus from Magpul. I'm loving the Strike Industries. I think Nope, I still have.
I've been a big fan of the K2. It's a little bit more vertical than the regular MOE, and then I like the rubbery texture of the Plus.
Yeah.
So kind of one of the biggest things that I changed up in 2023 was you get 4 color choices at no extra charge. So black, FDE, OD green, or a dark gray, which I'll have to grab that rifle here, the dark gray one here as well. And that's no extra charge. Same with the grip and stock color. So like this one's FDE with the OD green stock and OD green grip, same price. It doesn't change the price. And if you want to do something like, if you wanted one and you say, well, I like everything that's on there, but I want that B5 grip instead. I'm 99% sure the B5 grips are the same price as the Magpuls. So it's the same price.
Awesome. Dude, that gun is sick. I want it. I recently just I just sold my AR-15. Unfortunately, I'm trying to get ahead on some bills, and I shoot my Bear Creek Arsenal 9mm AR a lot more now because I absolutely love the gun. I was smart and saved the Geisley trigger and all the other stuff, and I swapped it into the Bear Creek Arsenal. But my AR that I had is gone, but that thing is nice. Literally, it's like that is what you want for like a do-all rifle. We do have some questions out in the chat.
Yeah.
DLD After Dark says, how does Jay feel about a chocolate chip cookie camo like the Mogadishu era? Pain in the ass, or is it easy?
I have done chocolate chip on, I did it on an MP5 probably about a year ago. I'm actually getting ready to do another chocolate chip on, I got I've got a 300 blackout that got sent in. That's getting chocolate chip. And I love chocolate chip. I think it's super cool looking.
I'm personally an M81 guy. I like M81.
That's what's hanging in the paint booth right now. I've got an M81 that's going to be a 300 blackout short build. And then I've got another 13.7, I think it is. No, what is it? I've got something else that's getting M81 over here as well. So yeah, I've got a couple of M81s cooking.
It's such a I just like the camo. I love Rhodesian camo. Baby poop or like actual like brushstroke, but people get all pissy about it.
I've done a few versions of M81 over the years, and finally back in April, I found one that I was actually like, okay, I am happy with my M81, with the color choices that I use, with how I do it. Like, I'm finally happy with it. It's taken me a couple of years to get it to where I really like it. But I'm finally happy with it. And I did one back in April, and it was for Charles, CEB Media, is on his lefty.
I love Charles. He's such a nice guy. He's just always a great time to be around whenever I get to see him.
Yeah, Charles is even my oldest boy. He came out shooting with us when they were up here in April, and he was like, Charles is really funny.
Yeah, guys, go check out CB Media. Let's see what else we got here. How do you feel about Cerakoting optics?
Yeah, do optics.
Hell yeah! All right.
The only thing that I caution people with is when you get into some of like the cheaper stuff, you have to really, really be careful with what kind of Cerakote you use. Because if it needs to go in the oven, if it's like the Oven Cure H series Cerakote, you have to really be careful because some of those optics won't hold up past 110, 120 degrees.
It fries the whole thing.
So, I did an ACOG, was the first optic I ever did, and I was so nervous going into it because I'm like, if I ruin this thing, like that's like a $1,400 optic dealer cost that I have to buy a new one for. But like, hate that he's gone, but shout out to Mike from Blown Deadline, because I just text him and was like, hey, can ACOGs like hold up to this temp? He's like, yeah. He's like, run them 140, you're good.
That's there you go. Yeah, we did lose a definite artist in the world Mike from Blown Deadline, Cerakote. I've only spoken to him once when I worked at Cape Gunworks. That's who we used for Cerakote at the time I was working there, and he was nothing, very nice, very helpful. I only spoke to him once, but it is terrible. I don't know what exactly happened, but
yeah, so he was offering like advanced Cerakote classes a couple
oh
years
hell yeah,
ago. And I went up there and took his class, and like the amount of things that I learned, like I can honestly say I would not have the skills and abilities that I have if it wasn't for Mike. Like
that's
hands
cool.
down.
That's cool. I didn't know they did those
So,
classes. That's knowledge you'll never forget either, too.
no, I mean it was like I walked away from a 2-day class. I was like, gosh, 2 days, like what can you really learn in 2 days? And then I took the class and
Oh
man,
yeah.
he crams it, and he knows his stuff. Like there's a reason why he's the best in the game, you know. So he taught me a lot of things, and I learned a lot, and I can honestly say I wouldn't be where I'm at without Mike. So
Yeah, definitely.
good guy all around. Yeah, it was a car accident. He got in a car accident.
Oh yeah.
Was
Oh,
in
that's terrible.
was in critical condition for a few days, and then passed from it after I think it was 4 or 5 days. So
That is terrible. So, ma'am, our hearts and prayers do go out to the family of Mike from Blown Deadline. Where you will not be forgotten, my man.
no.
So I'm just scrolling. I'm scrolling the comments. I see Chrissy Chirkel's out there. What's going on, babe? Hello from my hotel bathroom. She's out in Texas area right now. They're getting
Okay.
a shit ton of like rain and storms, tornado watches and shit. Like it's bad out there. But she says OD Green for life. She's a huge fan of OD Green, and I tease her a lot because she has her first carry gun was an FN 509 compact, and she said, "Oh yeah, it's OD Green," and I'm like, "No, it's not, hon. It's Flat Dark Earth." She's like, "No, it's OD Green," and I'm like, "Okay, you're talking to your boyfriend that is a gunsmithing is a gunsmith and went to gunsmithing school, and we're having color blindness issues here." But
Yeah,
I just say, you know what, you're right, sure, it's OD Green.
I'm a big fan of OD Green.
I like OD Green on certain guns. It depends on what it is. I hate the OD Green on Kiltech Sub 2000s. I don't know what it is. It just bothers me. It's like I like the OD Green on, say, KSG shotguns. I don't know why. It looks good on a KSG. It depends on the gun. Guys who Super Duties, they have their 40 millimeter green. I know it's not OD green, but close enough. Let's see the dog. Let's see the doggos. Okay, it sounds. Yeah, I did hear a dog barking. I'm guessing you have a dog.
Yeah, I got 2 dogs outside right now running around the yard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It looks like I'm looking at through the windows and stuff. I'm like, oh wow, it's still light out here, and I'm like, damn, it is.
Yeah, it's staying daylight up here pretty late still.
That's insane. So I do want to talk about the stippling services that you offer too. So.
Yep.
How now it's laser stippling. It's not like, you get a soldering iron and hand stipple it.
No, so last year, so I bought the laser engraver at the start of last year. I've done some really cool things with it. It's been a game changer for me for sure. Deep engraved metal can do, like, I've got one of my like 80% ARs that I just like throw, I just practice like deep engraving logos and,
Oh, that is so cool.
It's just one of those, like, all right, it's my test piece. I throw stuff on it, see how many passes it takes to get to the depth that I want, and if it looks clean and all those kinds of things, trying out different stuff. But for stippling, I do a lot of different patterns, but this has kind of been my flagship pattern lately.
Yes. Okay. I want that pattern on my dagger because I'm going to be sending you my dagger as well as the high point, and I want that pattern on my dagger. Like, that looks amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of been like my go-to.
Show that pistol off again. That looks dead sexy. Let's see what we got going on here.
This is my carry gun. This is a Gen 4 Glock 19. I've stippled it, Cerakoted it. It's got the Glock performance trigger in it, Gideon Omega.
Ooh,
And
look
the,
at that, guys! Use code JoJuice, 10% off Gideon Optics. I love I have the Alpha on my dagger. I love it. It's Gideon Optics are phenomenal, and I'm like I'm gonna switch over.
I've actually got 2 more sitting on the shelf right there still.
Oh, okay, hell yeah! So we're down with Gideon here. Hell yeah!
But yep, that's one of the other things I do is I'll do just the Glocks. I'll sell a whole customed out Glock. So 19, 17, I think the 45 model is included in that at the same price. So you get the gun itself, you get the optic cut, you get the Ameriglow suppressor height sights, you get the stippling, you get the Glock performance trigger, which is I really like the Glock performance trigger. They haven't been out very long, but I've been a big fan of them.
I'm partial to the Timney. I love the Timney.
I think the Timney is a great trigger too. Like when the Glock performance triggers, I think they retail for like $100.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to me. Like there's definitely some better triggers out there, but for $100, it's hard to beat it. So you get that, and then you get any color, like single color Cerakote on the frame and slide, and those are $900.
That is a smoking deal.
Yeah,
$900. Oh my gosh, guys! If you do not sleep on that, I would. That is an amazing deal right there. If you are a Glock fanboy like myself, but now you have I know you have a couple different patterns too for your laser stippling.
Yeah, I've got I can do just about anything. But like honeycomb, basket weave are kind of the 2 biggest ones. Ever since I launched this Sunburst, I haven't done anything else. Every single person that comes in, they're like, yeah, I want that. Okay, well, yeah, we can do that. No problem. But that's been the, I don't know, that was the thing that did it.
And that's the thing, you're finding stuff that is pretty much like a mainstay seller, and you're just kind of sticking to what works, which is awesome. You have a very limited, you have a limited menu of, okay, this is what I offer. You don't like add a bunch of throws everything but the kitchen sink on what you offer, but you stick to a game plan that works is what I think is smart for people that are kind of doing stuff like this. If you offer all this stuff, it's just you're going to get overwhelmed, and but at the same time, your turnaround times, and I do want to express this to people. When I sent Jay my SCT frame, I sent it out on a Wednesday. He got it by like that Saturday or something like that. That Tuesday it was out, and it was back at it was literally a week, about a week, all said and done. And this is a custom, like, hey, he did the pins, he did the slide lock slide release, the mag release, all that stuff. Okay, stenciled this in. It's a beautiful, beautiful red. And this is awesome. I do hope someone has been like, hey, did you do this?
Yeah.
I don't know how much publicity that I've been promoting that forever, and I don't know how much publicity I've gotten you, but I hope I got you some, because I am super happy with it.
I mean, it's stuff like that I love doing. I mean, it's those one-offs that are random and different. Like that's why I love doing this so much. Now I will say, disclaimer, my turnaround times aren't always that quick.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm closer to 4 weeks on stuff, just because April was like a crazy month towards the end of it. And it was just got absolutely slammed all in like a 2-week time period, where I went from, I've got like one thing here that needs to get done to having like 15 things here that need to get done. So I don't know why it happened that way, but I'm grateful for it. So
awesome.
The turnaround times are a little bit longer right now, but it's also, I'm coaching baseball. So like we've got baseball, we've got soccer. So that takes up some of my evenings now. And
you told me you don't do this as like your full-time gig right now. Like you're a soldier full-time for the Air Force, I believe, correct?
Yep, I'm in the Air Force active duty still, so I got.
Thank you for your service.
Appreciate that. I've got a few more years of that, so that takes up a lot of my time as well. So
Hell yeah. I mean, hey, in that it's good that you're able to kind of have that balance as well of like, hey, you got a full-time job, but then you're doing this and you're able to produce this much, this great quality, and also you have stuff coming in too, which is even better, even in today's economy where people are like, I might get a gun. We're never going to see the pandemic stuff ever again, I think.
I mean,
unless
things have slowed down a lot this year as far as selling the things, but people still want their stuff customized. People don't have the $1,000-$1,500 to drop on a custom rifle build, but they have $250-$300 to spend on getting what they have customized and making it more personalized for them and what they like.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. So I want your opinion. So we're sending the high point. I'm gonna get that sent out hopefully this week, man. I know I've been telling you like, yeah, I'm gonna send it out. Work's been crazy, and I'm horrible at getting to the post office. I am absolutely horrible at sending stuff out.
I had a package in the back of my car, in the trunk of my car for 2 days because I put it in there to go drop it off, forgot to drop it off that day. Like, well, I'll catch it in the morning. Forgot to get it in the morning. It was closed by the time I got off of work. And then I finally got to it this morning to drop it off. Like, yeah,
I've had a package sitting here for Ron Wayne. He's a subscriber of mine, but also has a channel on YouTube. Guys, go check out Ron Wayne. I've had a package of just like patches, stickers. I had some Aegis gun care in there. It's sitting next to my desk. And I've showed him on stream. I'm like, I got your package here, dude. I just haven't brought it to the post office. So we got this SBR build that we're doing. So now that I know that you can take SBRs in. Once I get the Form 1 in, what do you think we should do to this? Like, you are the Cerakote sponsor of the channel and the podcast, which I thoroughly appreciate and will be forever grateful.
So that's the Mat 9 upper, isn't it?
Yep, it's the Mat 9 upper.
Newer version. Okay, so I did one. What's their other upper called? Their earlier version.
I think it was called the Mongo 9. They also made at one. They were the ones that were producing the BRN 9 for Brownhouse.
Yep. Okay. So the Mongo 9. So I had a guy buy 2 of our 9mm lowers that we did back in like September, October. One of them with the Mongo 9 upper, we did a cherry blossom Cerakote.
Ooh.
So it was exactly what you think of when you think of cherry blossom. That's how it looked. It was almost that like same. It's very similar to what you've got there, and it was cool. It was the at Naughty in October. He came and he brought that, and like that was the gun everybody gravitated towards because it was insanely wild. It's a short 9mm. Like, especially if you SBR it with a stock, like that's
So I do have the Mean Arms carbon fiber grip. I'm not a fan of A2 grips. I made a video on it, but I do like the carbon fiber on this. I think I'm gonna have to reach out to A3 Tactical because I like their grip, because I can't get a traditional like grip on here because it has this hump.
Oh yeah.
So I might think about getting the A3 Tactical thing, but also once I SBR it, I'm gonna get a 4N grip that has the light mount on it in their stock. But I was thinking, plus because I got the Endo mags here, that's just dead sexy.
Love those things.
I've only put about 3 or 4 mag storage just for like testing. We got the Sealy optics on here. Big shout out to Gamage. Me and him traded some optics. But I'm thinking it was either do like a Miami what is it called? Miami splatter, but in like just like kind of like crazy 90s colors. Or I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. So the Mortal Kombat symbol all over it. And then since you have the laser engraver, do the mags as well.
Yep, we can do that.
That would be cool. And get have the gold and I think it's gold and orange would be the colors you'd want for it. Gold and orange with Mortal Kombat colors all over it. That would be dead sexy.
I did. So for Naughty last year, we did a raffle. I did 2 AR receiver sets, uppers and lowers, and I did them in that wild 90s splatter. And it was kind of one of those like, yeah, it'd be a way to sell some stuff, sell some raffle tickets. So we were doing 40 tickets and like sold out by lunch on the first day.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, okay, well, I'll just do 2. So we did 2 more. And it was one of those like, yeah, I don't have them done. They're not here, but as soon as I get back, I'll get 2 more sets done and then ship them out to the winner. So we did 2 more sets the very next day and sold out of those in like 2 hours as well, because that splatter, the green and the pink, I think it was also 2 colors from Cerakote that glow under a black light. So when you put it under a black light, it just really looks like you're living in the 90s again.
That's awesome.
So
That
I
is
actually have
awesome.
the splatters all over my paint booth still from doing those sets.
Now, when you do the splatters, I just out of technique, do you, what I was taught was you spray your hand with like a glove and you just flick it. Is that how you do it or no?
I use a toothbrush.
That could also work.
Mix the Cerakote, dip the toothbrush in, and just splatter it that way.
Okay, that's another way to do it. I would have never thought of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I was taught.
I've been asked a few times, like, why do you have a toothbrush on your workbench? Like, well, because I use it to splatter Cerakote as I need to. Like, oh, well, like, okay, like, yeah, I'm not brushing my teeth out while I'm like working. Like,
Getting
like,
that good dental hygiene.
Like, it's clearly dirty and like covered in paint. Like, I'm not gonna brush my teeth with it. Like,
you're like, guys, I know I have VA benefits, but come on, I can handle, not having to brush my teeth while I work. DLD After Dark is saying, yeah, I need to get some stuff sent out to Liberty Bell. I want some pretty ridiculous Cerakote stuff done. Well, Dark, if you use code JoJuice, you're saving 20%, my man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that would be cool to get some DLD stuff as well, and that's why I wanted to make it a point to be like, hey, let's promote this, this veteran that is, doing great stuff. I've seen the stuff you've done for Opie and the Smokers, and I do want to touch on that real quick before we hop off. Your ARs that you made, they were awesome. I know Mr. Big Kid did a video on the Freedom rifle, I believe. That thing was like, it's a fantastic rifle.
I've got that one sitting over on the bench. We shot a couple hundred rounds through it at Naughty last year. And this is after he did all of the destruction to it. It still hasn't had a malfunction.
That tells you something, guys. Get one before he stops making them.
And I mean, I've been called arrogant for it, but I'm going to say, I've said it from the beginning. I produce the best $1,000 rifle. You can find better rifles. You can find more expensive rifles. You can find cheaper rifles. But if you're looking to spend $1,000 on an AR, you're not going to find one better. For the features, the accessories, the quality, and the fact that, like, I don't care what it is. Like, I mean, the best warranty is when you never have to use. But, like, if you have a problem, you're going to have my cell phone number. Call me. Okay, here's what's going on. Ship it to me. I fix it, and I ship it back to you. And that's it. Like, the only thing that I'm not going to cover is, like, if you go running it over with your truck or something, yeah, sorry about your luck there, man. Like,
okay, you're an asshole if you literally take $1,000 rifle and you're like, oh, I'm going to run it over with my truck. I got a warranty. Like, you're...
Well, I mean, Mr. Big Kid did run that one over with the truck. But
I'm not going to call Mr. Big Kid an asshole because I love Steve. I love Steve very much. He's a very good friend of mine, but he shouldn't have done that. I understand he's testing it, but
what was funny, he texted me and he was like, what's my line? What can I do and what can I do?
So he called and got like a clearance before he did it.
And I told him, I said, at first I was like, I was thinking like, man, I don't know. Like, I want it to be abused, but like, don't go crazy. And then I said, you know what? No, do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, anything goes, everything is on the table. If it breaks, it breaks, and that's it.
And again, for people that don't know, Steve from Mr. Big Kid, he's got like a Dodge Ram Rebel, like a big ass truck too. So, So
it's got a little dent in it, but it still works. So
yeah, it runs. That's all you need to know. So with Naughty After Dark, I know you've been an event sponsor there forever. I know you and Opie are very close. We've had Opie on the podcast before, so shout out to Opie. He's been going through the ringer with social media with them, kind of zucking him. It sucks, but he started this shoot called Naughty After Dark, which is like kind of like an Iraq veteran, but it's open to the public. You can you just got to pay for a ticket and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's a unique event where I'm from what I saw last year, there were actually more vendors there, like from the industry and stuff, but it's actually geared towards like night vision and getting people introduced to night vision and shooting with it. What has been your experience there for, say, someone who wants to try, say, hey, I think I want to do Naughty After Dark, what am I going to expect? Like, what would you tell people to expect?
So last year was only the second year for the event. So 2022 was the first year that we did it. And I think there was like maybe 10 vendors or so. And it was just people that he reached out to that he knew. It was like, hey, I want to put this event on. And what do you think about coming out and letting people shoot your stuff? And it was great. The first year was tons of fun. I had a blast. Last year, it really picked up steam. I think there was almost 30 vendors last year, like 28 or something like that. AGM set up a shoot house. So we had 2v2 with the Gel Blaster ARs with thermal scopes in a completely pitch black giant, like 40 by 40 tent.
That's awesome.
So the only way you could see your opponents was looking through the thermal scopes.
That's awesome.
That was tons of fun. I mean, golly, that was that was so much fun. So,
I'm considering going to Naughty. Because I've done IV88 a few times. I know TriggerCon just got announced for the end of September. I'm trying to like do a few other shows this year, and Naughty is one of them that I really would like to go to, just because I'm so new. I would love to try out night vision. I'm a poor, so I can't afford night vision. So
here's the biggest thing that sets Naughty apart from those other events is Naughty comes at it with more of a community approach. Whereas like IV88 is geared towards
the industry,
influencers and your people in the industry to go and try out companies' products, to go and make, contacts and see people you haven't seen in a while. And that's all good and well. That has its place. But Naughty is geared towards getting the community involved in shooting, getting the community involved in training. So it's not just like a, hey, come shoot our stuff and buy our products. Like, sure, companies want to sell their products. That's why they're going. But I love talking to people. I love watching people who have never shot a machine gun before get to shoot a machine gun.
Oh, yeah.
I love watching people who have never got to use night vision before put on $40,000 quad tube night vision and just be in awe at the landscape where you're at. So it's really geared more towards getting people involved in shooting, getting people involved in training, and building that like cohesiveness as a community versus, hey, just come and have a good time. Like, you have fun, but there's more of like a bonding experience. I mean, me and Opie we set up like a bigger tent and we kind of share that tent together. And there's people who I had never even met before. He's like, here, can you watch my night vision for me while I go run up over here and do the shoot house? Yeah, sure. So here I am holding this dude's $12,000 night vision setup, trying it out. Like, just, it's, put it on and I'm just sitting there with nods on, enjoying the people shooting and enjoying the, the scenery. And while he's going off and doing the night vision shoot house, I mean, where else are you going to experience that? And I mean, it's $150 for a ticket, but that includes a raffle. And I think last year it was, Opie's going to murder me for like getting this number wrong, but I want to say it was close to like 20 grand in prizes.
Oh, like, wow. Didn't they give away like a full blown PBS 14?
They gave away, that was like the big prize. It was like a $2,500 PBS 14.
Did it have the white phosphorus tubes?
I think it was green. I think I could be wrong. But I mean, I gave away one of our rifles. I gave away one of the custom Glocks, so that was a little bit over $2,000 worth of stuff.
Holy shit.
And then, but there's anything from like, I think like Roscoe, they couldn't make it, but they sent like a couple $100 worth of stuff. They sent a couple of barrels and a bolt carrier and like some stuff like that. For
yeah, their sauce packs. I've used them. They're great quality stuff. On a build down the road, I might talk to them and be like, hey, can you send me your sauce pack? Like, we'll do this. I love your stuff.
Yep. I've been a fan of their stuff for a while. And that's, I mean, so there was tons of raffle prizes and stuff like that. So, I mean, $150 gets you passes to both days of the event. It gets you a ticket to the raffle. You can camp on site for free, but then there's also like hotels and Airbnbs and stuff like that, you know, in the area that's, you know, that you can pay for. He brings out food trucks and all that kind of stuff to, you know, and I think last year, the most expensive thing on the one food truck was like $15.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
You know, you're ranging anywhere from $8 to $12, $13 for a meal, like a pretty average price meal. It's not like it was super expensive or anything like that. So
that's all. Dude, that's awesome. That's why. And like, I've seen like because I know my buddy Josh, Big Josh from Black Diamond Guns here. Guys, by the way, the link is going to be put in the description after this. If you head over to fattack.com, you can actually get some shooting gallery merch where we have our merch store through Fattack now. So you can get logos, cell phone cases, hats. We have the Tactical Manny shirt. I'm waiting if you guys want to go over there, check it out. It's a really cool design I had made up. Oh, dude, it's one of the greatest designs I've ever seen. I love it. But you know, Big Josh was telling me that Naughty After Dark is just like a great time, and I'm like, you know what, that might be a good event to go. It's $150. I'm only 10 hours from Sweetwater, and I've been threatening to actually like take one of Opie's classes anyway because I've been wanting to, you know, take some training classes, and
it's definitely worth it. And I mean, it's so funny. Last year, I mean, by the end of the weekend, we got to Sunday and we're out there cleaning everything up, and he's like hoarse, can barely speak. And I'm just like, how good was this weekend? And he goes, there's nothing better. Like it is the thing that I look forward to every single year. So like you're almost as far as I am. I'm about 8.5 hours. So you're just a little bit further than I am. And it's worth the trip.
Yeah, I have like a halfway point in Marietta, Georgia. It's the next, you know, stop right on into Tennessee because I know I've been meaning to get up there anyway to hang out with Josh, Mr. Big Kid, everybody in the Tennessee area.
Yeah, it's a good time. Last year, TSOS brought out their they had like their shotguns and stuff.
Yep.
But we set up it was a blacklight clay shoot. So they had black lights like down the firing line. So you would launch clays that would get picked up by the black light. So it's like completely dark out.
That would be so awesome.
And you're shooting clays. So,
dude, that'd be so dope. I saw that and I'm like, I've always wanted to do that.
Oh, like, it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. So
yeah. So guys, now has Naughty After Dark tickets gone on sale yet?
Tickets went on sale last week. They started naughtyafterdark.com. And so I'm also running a promo. I was going to stop it at the end of May. I think I'm going to just end up running it through the end of June. Every $300 that you spend with me on Cerakote and Laserwork gets you one free ticket to Naughty After Dark.
Look at that. There you go. So Tommy, if you're still listening, my man, we can make a trip to Naughty After Dark if you send your Steyr AUG to him. So just know that, my man. Just think of it like that. You can fly down to Tampa. I'll pick you up in Tampa, and we'll drive all the way to Sweetwater, Tennessee.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I do want to go to Naughty. I might skip IV88 this year and do Naughty because it's still like the next weekend, I think, after. So
Naughty's the 25th and 26th.
Okay, so last weekend in October. Okay, definitely not.
I'm going to give you the right. I don't want to give the wrong dates.
I can't actually say when the dates are to IV88, but let's just say it's I can't. It's
usually IV88's either the first or second weekend of October. Normally, not always, but
not always, and not always at the same place either. So that's all we
yeah,
can say because I don't want to ever get nixed.
yeah, yeah. So Naughty After Dark is October 25th and 26th. It is a Friday Saturday event.
Oh, that's dope. That's
So
dope.
and
So
it's a great time. I mean, we had so much fun last year. I had fun the first year.
didn't some
But
dickhead
last year,
steal like a generator or something like that?
yep, somebody stole a generator.
Do you ever find out who it was or no?
No, I mean we have our suspicions on who it was, but that's like not a guaranteed. Like, yes, we know it was this guy, but like 95%. I mean, there was only one person there who everybody hated and was the biggest dickhead to everybody, and he was about the only like outsider that nobody wanted anything to do with. So, put 2 and 2 together there.
Fuck him. Well, yeah. Don't be an asshole at this event. If you go to Naughty After Dark, don't be doing shit like that. It's there for a fun time. Opie does a lot to put this event on. So, so Jay, we are over the 9:00 hour. I am so pumped that you came on tonight because I figured, hey, you sponsor the podcast, and I do want to say this. I cannot thank you enough.
Oh man, no problem at all.
It means a lot to me because it's very hard to get sponsorships, and the fact that, hey, we have probably the coolest Glock out there. I'm just saying, sorry, Dark, I love you, buddy, but I have the coolest Glock. And if I ever get a call from whoever owns Kit Kat, I want to say it's Nabisco. It probably is wrong, and it might be like I don't even know. Goddamn. If I ever get a cease and desist for that, I don't care. I'm gonna hang that with pride. And I'm gonna say,
absolutely.
F you. I am not gonna stop posting this. This is cool as shit. All right.
Yeah.
It's not
I did a suppressor, a 22 suppressor. I did a Louis Vuitton on the whole suppressor. And I think I made one post about it. It's not one of those like, it was for Charles as well. He wanted Louis Vuitton on his 22 suppressor, so we made it happen.
Again,
that's what the laser's for.
Fucking love Charles. That's awesome. Oh God, I love Charlie. He's awesome. But all right, well, guys, please do me a favor. And if you were considering getting some laser stippling on your handgun, the honeycomb pattern or the you call it the sunrise pattern,
sunburst. Yep.
The sunburst pattern, I think, is a fantastic pattern. I'm literally going to be sending my dagger to him. Look at that.
It's been my favorite one.
Yeah. So if you use code JoeJuice, you can save yourself 20% off on your Cerakote or laser stipple services. It is definitely worth the wait, and it's worth your money all day long. Jay is a very hard worker, and he's again veteran, and he is able to produce some extremely great quality product. He loves doing one-off stuff. Don't do Cryptech. Don't do that to him. I know he said he will do it, but let's not do that out there. But make sure you guys are using code JoeJuice for 20% off your entire order. Well, people deserve that. I'm like finishing the comments here. Go Glock for Glock with me, but yeah, no, Dark. I do not want to go Glock for Glock. I know I will lose that fight 100%. But Jay, you got the last word. Tell people where they can find you on social media, and anything else you need to pimp. That's what we kind of give the guests here.
So it's Liberty Bell Firearms on Instagram. I'm not super active on Facebook. They really nerfed my stuff a while ago, and so I'm not super active on there. So Instagram is the best place to find me. Do a lot of posting there. Shop.libertybellfirearms is the website. Have just about anything you want in stock there: optics, guns, accessories, lasers, slings, grips, whatever it is, whatever you want. Then we have the production rifles on there, the ARs, and then the custom Glocks, and then the Cerakote stuff. You can just go to libertybellfirearms.com/Cerakote. And then there's a form on there to fill out and send your stuff in, and we'll get you taken care of, whatever you want done. If you can, you pay, I spray is how we do it.
We got to get you a T-shirt that says "You pay, I spray." I don't care.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter if it's the stupidest thing in the world, but that's what you like. Hey, then that's what I'm doing for you. I want your gun to fit you the way you want it, fit your personality, your style, whatever it is. I mean, I'll do it.
Hell yeah, that's an advertisement in itself there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Today is the 228th episode of this podcast. It's crazy. Next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always on Rumble, we're going to be having Chris from the 740 on the show. I was on his show a couple weeks back, so we had to kind of do the return the favor. So he's going to be coming on next Wednesday. As I said before, make sure you go to Liberty Bell Firearms for your Cerakote and laser stippling. Use code JoJuice for 20% off. It's how you support the channel, and it's how you support Liberty Bell Firearms, a great American-owned business. As always, stay safe, stay shooting. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
See y'all.